Say for example, from Talamban campus to the downtown campus. But you have to pass by Ayala Center. So gikan ka sa Talamban, paingon ka sa Ayala, there are different roads, possible roads, no? Pwede ka diha sa nang atong kasada diha. Poingko, di ba? Pwede sa inigabot mo sa Foodland mo, left turn ka. Yang ato din ka sa Panagdait. That's another. Or pwede sa ka mo left turn, gawas ka nga sa diba? And then going to Ayala. So there are three, not just three, but this is just an example. There are three possibilities. And we assume that from Ayala to Talamban, there are only two possibilities. Then you can reach the downtown campus by saying, I will follow 1-1, because that's how the Waze is guiding me. Di ba? Or, mayroon ka 1-2, that's another possibility. 2-1, 2-2, 3-1, and 3-2. So here, 3 times 2. Total of 6. So here, if you toss a coin, there are 8 possible outcomes, and these are the set, no? These are the listing of the possible outcomes. Okay, so what's the difference between permutation and combination, by the way? Ano sa manang permutation? Ano sa manang combination? Okay, permutation is ordered grouping, no? So it's grouping, but you consider the arrangement of the different items or elements in a group. While combination, it's unordered. So the order will not matter. Is 187 a permutation or a combination? 187. Is it a combination? Is 187 the same as 817? Could be, no? Because probably I'm talking of a beauty contest. Kinsa may top 3, 1, 8, and 7. Will it matter kung somebody will declare, si 817? Parehara, no? Kaya you are only interested of kinsay top 3 without really attaching a rank, no? Sa mga sa top 3. But if you talk of money, say for example million, asa may ganahan mo maka-receive kag 871 million or 187 million. And this time it matters. The arrangement of the elements matter, di ba? And therefore it is a permutation. So anything na mo matter na ang arrangement, permutation na. So kung may kag sweet dress, sama na, permutation, combination. Mo matter ba kung first, second, third? Mo matter, no? Pero ang loto, combination. Kaya di man mo matter ang arrangement. As long as present ang imong 6, no? 6 digits. So that's the difference between permutation and combination. So this is permutation. Okay. Now, how do we determine now the different formulas for permutation as well as for combination? So, mani ang gitawag na to combination, no? Grouping of R from n objects without considering order or unordered grouping. So, may selecting members for a committee. May kinsa may itong pa-joinan sa committee nga mo represent sa UECCE. Si Juan, si Pedro, si Juan, o si Joy, for example. Siya di mo kuganahan, kung maayong ta si Pablo, si Pedro, si Juan, si Joy, parehar man sila. Mura mga tawanan, di ba? Bisag kinsa yung nag-mention nimo, you are talking of the same persons nga mo represent sa group. Pero kung may kag, bay kinsa may itong himong presidente, si Pedro, lahi man na kung si Juan mo yung presidente, right? So kung attach na kag position, then it's considered already permutation. basta mo differ na ang grouping by rearranging the items or the members in the group, always consider it as a permutation. Okay, ngarita, formula. If you are going to rearrange n objects all at a time, then pila man ka possible arrangement. And there are n factorial. Saan na pag-derive? Ano ang pag-derive, no? Gamita og principle of counting. So for example, kung naa ako'y n objects, kunya ako silang i-arrange all of them at a time, then I will provide n boxes nga dito na ko ibutang ang mga objects, di ba? Again there are n objects. There are n objects, say 5, and I'm going to rearrange them. So para ma-arrange na ko, mag-allocate ko og 5 spaces for the 5 objects. And then I will now answer the question, there are how many ways I could put an object in the first box? And because there are 5 candidates, I would say these 5 candidates can qualify to be placed in the first box. So kung naay 5 objects, then there are 5 different ways of filling this up. Sakto? No? Nya. Ang habilin, kaya naka-allocate naman ko 1 object here. Then we still have 4 remaining. Sakto? Then the 4 can be also, one of them, no, can be chosen as the second object. And because there are 4 of them, and I would say there are 4 different ways of filling this up. And the remaining 3, there are 3 different ways of filling this up. There are 2 different ways of filling this up, and the remaining 1 will occupy the last box. So in total, there are 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And we call it one after the other. One after the other. If this one can be done in 5 ways, and this one can be done in 4 ways, this one can be done in 3 ways, in 2 ways and 1, then there are 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 different ways. And that is factorial. By definition, that is factorial. Still remember factorial? So when we say n factorial, it is the product of n to 1, no? Inclusive, diba? Including n and 1. That's how we determine factorial. What is 0 factorial? What is 1 factorial? Parihara, no? Okay. So 0 factorial is 1 and 1 factorial is also 1. Okay. Is n factorial equal to n times n minus 1 factorial? Yes or no? N factorial, is it the same as n times n minus 1 factorial? Okay. What is 5 factorial? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Can I also say it is 5 times 4 factorial? Yes or no? 5 times 4 factorial. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So 5 factorial can also be written as 5 times 5 minus 1 factorial. So by definition, n factorial is the same as n times n minus 1 factorial. Or n factorial is the same as n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. Tangilang factorial sa last. No? So that's definition. In fact, ang 0 factorial o ang 1 factorial can be explained by that formula. Kay kung may kong 1 factorial, 1 magkana, agree? 1 factorial is 1. But I can also write it as 1 times 1 minus 1 factorial. And what is 1 minus 1 factorial? 0 factorial. And because 1 factorial is the same as 1 times 0 factorial, so 0 factorial cannot be 2. Gets? Kaya kung 2 ng 0 factorial, 2 times 1 is not 1. Dili sa pwede 0 because 1 times 0 is not 1. So that basic definition of factorial will prove that n or 0 factorial is indeed 1. Now, narika sa number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time is NPR. NPR. By symbol, it's NPR, and it is derived or it is formulated as n factorial all over n minus r factorial. No? N minus r factorial. Okay? Next is, how about if you arrange an object around a circle? We call it circular permutation. No? Pareha na ay 5 or 3 objects. Kanya, i-rearrange sila, imo siyang i-arrange around a table, round table. Okay. So, kung ibutang ka, ako si A, niya, na ay B, na ay C, niya, you are asked to rearrange them. Niya ka, ikaw A, balhin ka diha. Ikaw B, balhin ka dire. Ikaw C, balhin ka diha. Imo silang gi-rotate. It is not considered as a different permutation. Why? Because it can be duplicated if you rotate the persons. No? So, unsa may paagi para maka-determine ta og different permutation? Stationary ang usa ka object. Stationary siya. So, kung tulome, stationary ko, pila nam lang akong i-rearrange? Duha na lang. And how many possible ways in which you could rearrange n minus 1 objects? Then n minus 1 factorial, correct? And therefore, to answer a circular permutation, it should be n minus 1 because you make one stationary, di siya hilabtan, i-rearrange ang remaining objects. And by doing so, you can always have a circular permutation. Dili na siya ma-duplicated bisag unsaon pa nimo rotate, no, ang mga objects. So kana mga color wheels, rotate ra man siya. So dili na ma-consider nga different permutation kung imo i-position ang yellow to asa taas or to aba sa ubos, as long as dili ma-change ang arrangement sa mga different colors. The number of permutations of n objects of which n1 are alike, n2 are alike, nk are and others, nk others are alike. So ang akong illustration ana is, kung naatay word nga, may word nga naay, okay, mayroon kong seeds. So SEEDS, 5 objects. Pero mayroon ko, try to get the permutation of these 5 objects. You cannot say 5 factorial. Nga naman, kay ang duha ka letter E, kung imo siyang i-interchange, dili man siya counted nga different grouping. Kay seeds manggihapon siya, di ba? Bisan pag imong intention is imong i-interchange ang duha, but because they are alike, you are forming not a different grouping, but the same group, and therefore you will lose some permutation if there are objects that are alike. So, para ma-reflect na natong reduction, ato siyang i-divide, because if there are n alike objects, makahimo unta ka og n factorial na permutation, pero nawagtang na, and therefore you have to put that in the denominator. Moro may pag-decrease, di ba? It's either imong i-subtract or imong i-divide ang value. So in this particular case, n1, n factorial all over n1. So if there are 2 objects nga alike, and there are 3 objects that are also alike, and there are maybe another 4 objects that are alike, then you have to reflect those alike objects in the denominator. Na? So, question like, pila man ka permutations ang imong ma-form sa mga letters sa Philippines? Then you have to count how many P's, how many L, how many I's. Okay, another example to this is ingon ene. Naay 10 persons nga akong i-transport from one place to another place. Kay naitay excursion. Niyang usa kay nakadaman og motorcycle. No. So pila may makarga niya? Duha lang ka tawo. Ang usa nakadaog sakyanan. Diya, makakarga ko diri og butang ta 3. Yang usa makakarga og 5. So ang 10 pwede ma-transport nimo using vehicle 1, vehicle 2, vehicle 3. Ang question is, there are how many possible ways nga ma-transport nimo ang 10 persons from A to B, considering ini nga mga vehicles. So, parihara na og alike objects nga naman. Kung ang usa ka person si Juan, si Pedro, si Pablo, silang tulo, naa sa ka vehicle nya ni front set si Pablo, to asa likod si Pedro o si Juan, dili tulo no? Ito, Pedro, Juan, Pablo. Mo matter ba nga sa pagtransport kung ang si Pablo mo ito sa front seat? Dili man. Kay nag-abot nila, okay sa man abot. Sila mang tulo. No? Oh. So, dili mo matter. Pero kung si Pablo mo transfer to the other vehicle, different na. Sakto? Oh, so, silang tulo, consider na nga alike na sa usa ka vehicle. Na bisan pag i-rumble-rumble nimo, it won't affect the counting. So, mosab na nga principle. So, partitioning. Pwede ang itawag na nato partitioning. That's permutation. Narita sa combination. So, ang combination is number of objects, pero you have to select R objects from N. So, mo tong loto, say 642. So, may meaning ng 642. Marag 42 ka bula, no? Yang mo pili ra ka og 6 balls nga nai-represent ka numbers. So, combination na siya. So, may kag 42 combined 6. O sa calculator pa, 42 NCR 6. Na nasa atong calculator. That's combination. Also, makaingon ka nga ang combination diya is equal to unsa ra to ning formula kini? Kini siya mo ng NPR. No, NPR. Yeah, divided by R factorial. So, ang NPR, i-divide na itong R factorial, that becomes combination. Good. So, ganiya, natay problem. Gitagaan ka og 5 cards. Unsa may pila man ka possible ways nga makakuha ka og full house. Ang full house na kay tulo ka klase, di ba? Tulo nga naa sa usa ka the same suit, no? O 3 of a kind. 3 of a kind ya, plus 2 pair gyapon. So saan na pag-calculate? Pila man ka suits tanan? 13. Na ay ace, na ay king, na ay queen, jack, 10 up to dos na kay butang na untong ace dire. So sa ace upat na kabog, pili kag tulo. And therefore that's combination. Combination ano? Meron ka I will choose 4, I will choose 3 out of 4. So 4 combine 3. Pila resulta? 4 in CR3. $52? 4 in CR3. 4 in CR3 naman. 4. 4 ang resulta. No? Unya, kay 13 man na. So, i-apply sa nanimong 4 in CR3 sa king. I-apply sa nanimo sa 4 in CR3 sa queen. Yaman mo pili lang kago sa meaning, kini can happen in how many ways? 4 different ways. This can also 4 different ways. This one 4 different ways. So, you have to multiply 4 by 13. Pila? 52. Okay. Mo to'y paagi. Makakuha kag tulo. Now, pili na sa tagduha. May kag 4 combine 2. Pero ayaw nag-i-multiply og 13. Nga naman, kung naa kay tulo ka ace, di na makakakuha duha ka ace. So, ang remaining 12 na lang. So, 4 combined 2 times 12. Kunya, multiply nimo sa number of ways nga makakuha ka 3 out of 4. So that would be 52 times. And therefore, the answer is 3744. What the answer sa letter A? So that's permutation, no? Permutation, combination. Okay, kuha gani ha. Bisag yun sa gudo-do calculator, wag makuha. So example to sa permutation and combination. Okay, so here are some examples. In how many ways can 4 boys and 3 girls sit in a row if the boys and girls alternate? So upat man ka boys. Dili gyud na pwede ang boys butang nimo next to the girl, nya ang girl mo i-adjust, di ba? Kay mag-alternate man sila. So klaro kayo nga, boys, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. Ana, no? Girl, boy. Nya katong mga girls, pwede nimong baylo-baylohon. Meaning, there are 3 possibilities by which you can rearrange the girls. Kay tulo raman sila. Ikaw diha ha, kay ikaw may pinakagwapa. Oh, ana, or ikaw may gwapa. Ikaw kay mas gwapa man ka diha ka. Ikaw may pinakagwapa dire ka, no? Oh. Di ba? Ano man? Ang sa lalaki sab, pwede sab nimo ma-rearrange ang upat. So 4 factorial times 3 factorial. So permutation apply principle of counting. If this can happen in 4 factorial ways, followed by the other, which is 3 factorial ways, principle of counting number 1, then multiply 4 factorial times 3 factorial. A total of 144. Ang siri doon na ay upat ka persons, 5 persons, mo line up sila na mo sakay og bus. Is it permutation, combination? Kung naay 5 ka tao, mo sakay sila og bus. It is permutation. Mo matter man kinsa nag-una, di ba? Di ba? Nagdali ka. May kag ayog insert habay. Dapat nga mo reklamo ka di ka pa insert, mo matter di ay ang arrangement kung mag-line up mo to take the bus. So, naay 5 persons. Sakay sila bus. Pero naay 2 ka tao nga di magbuwag, magsunod yun sila. How many possibilities are there? Bay, sunod yun ha. It's either mauna ka mo, basta kitang duha. Sunod yun ha. Oh. So, saan man na pag-solve? Okay, so ang paagi yan ang 5 persons i-tie up ang duha. So instead of 5, mahimo na lang 4. Mahimo na lang 4, no? Okay. Once nakapurma na ka sa 4, so for example, A, B, C, D, and E. Kunya, si D o E, magsunod yun. So di sila tumoy. Pero kung mabutang sila sa front, D and E gihapon, or E and D. Posible, di ba? Nya mo, matter man ang kinsay nag-una. So, you would say 4 factorial because that's the number of ways by which you could arrange the 3 persons and the other 2 persons nga imong i-tie, no? Hindi sila magbuwag. So, 4 factorial. Once na-position na sila, then buhiin ang duha. And they can also interchange. So, that would be 4 factorial times 2 factorial. Or simply 2. 4 factorial times 2. Okay. That's principle of counting. Well, the solution will not take a very long calculation, pero you should understand the basic principles. Onya, later on mo nang duaan ra ba na. Pero examiner usahay, wise man sab. Duain di ay answer. Kana, duay, di ay answer. Nang uban siguro, kuha gid nako tanan pero lahi day mga answers, no? So make sure that you really understand different questions as far as permutation or combinations are concerned. Okay, so 3 different kinds of toys, car, airplane, and boat are available for distribution to 15 street children. If each child can receive at most 1 toy, how many possible selections are there? So naay 15 unya tulo ray 15 no, naay tulo ka klase nga toys. So pwede airplane, di ba? So makonsidera na nato nga 3 alike objects, unya another alike objects, 3 different kinds. Oh, find the number of ways that 10 CE teachers can be assigned to 6 sessions of tutorial classes if no teacher is assigned to more than 1 section. Daghan kayo, di ba? 10 ra na sila, pero mo na yung mga possibilities. Agree mo, ana? Find the number of ways that 10 CE teachers can be assigned to 6 sessions of tutorial classes. So ito ay tutorial dito sa algebra, there is a trigonometry, analytic geometry, mechanics, strength of materials. Unya 6. Okay? Sa siguro concrete design. Unya na 10 faculty. Capable sila, bisag asa sila. Na ako noy 151,200 different ways. Sana desa? Next is in CR, in how many ways can a 5-player starting unit be selected from a 12-member basketball squad? Di man na mo matter ang arrangement, di ba? Okay, player number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Kamoy first 5. Okay, coach, bati man ang coach. Kung ako'y pabuto niyo, mas mayo si 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Baka malifong, pareha naman na. Diba? So, di mo matter. Di mo matter, meaning, combinations, yeah. So, 15 combined 5. That's the formula, no? 15 combined 5. Gini. Try to answer this, okay? Tanaw na to. From the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7, how many 3-digit numbers can be formed? Ano to? Pilay atong answer. No? Each digit may be used only once in the number. So a good example is 1, 2, 3. No? And it's different from 2, 1, 3. And it's different from 4, 6, 7. 6, 4, 7 also. Different from the previous 3-digit number na na-mention. Kaya answer number 1. Kila? 3, 3, 6. Unsay solution? Na kay 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Apply principle of counting. Unsa man pag-apply sa principle of counting? Magbutang ka og tulo ka boxes intended for the hundreds, the tens, and the units. Naka-follow ta? Naka-imagine ta? Because we are forming a 3-digit number. Question is, sa hundreds digit, can I place the 0 there? Dili. And therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first box na hundreds digit can be filled up in 6 different ways only. Kaya di man mo qualify ang 0. So, principle of counting no? Principle of counting. 0 will not qualify as the hundreds digit. Ang mo qualify, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. So, it would be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 6 times 6 times 5 times 4. Do you agree? 6. Kaya assuming, ang napilian na ito nga hundreds digit is 6. Mo qualify naman ang 0 as the tens. Di ba? So, na kay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 remaining to occupy the tens digit nga place. So it is 6 times 6 times 5. 6 times 6 times 5, that is 30 times 6, equivalent to 180. Mo na yung answer sa number 1. Ang question number 2, pila man sa 180 ang even numbers? Be, pila man ka even numbers? Kung saan pag-solve? How many of these numbers are even? Kung saan mo pag-identify ang even number? By looking at the last digit. The last digit must be even. Sakto? Okay, so mo na yung mga requirements. So, inig-fill up nimo sa imong tulo ka boxes. Box number 1, hundreds digit. Second box, tens digit. Ang last box, unit digit. Sa unit digit, ang samay mo qualify? 0, 2, 4, 6. So, pila sila? Okay, so na-filled up na nato ang unit digit. Ngari ka sa hundreds digit. Pila may possibilities or possibility nga ma-filled up nimo ang hundreds digit? 6 up? Dili no? Yun nga case ha? Tanawan nga case. Kung ang napili nako nga units digit is 2. So ang 0 nagpabilin. Mo qualify ba na as the hundreds digit? Dili. Di ba? Dili. So unsa may technique na to ni? Duha ang imong groupings. Ang first group is consider all even numbers ending with 0. So tanawa ha. So na ako'y group of even numbers dire nga ang ending 0. So pila man ka possibilities nga ma-filled up nako ang units digit? Only one. That is 0. Because I am interested of even numbers ending with 0. Gets na to? Okay, kay ang ending 0 man, so obviously ang 0 wala na. Nakuha na. Kay nakuha naman siya, so sa hundreds digit mo qualify na ang remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 na ang hundreds digit. Ang tens digit 5. So dapat 6, 5, 1. 6 times 5 times 1. Mao na ang mga even numbers ending with 0. Pila? 30 of them. 30. No, 30 of them. Ka-imagine na ta? Nagdaga na tumutok. Muragwa siya. Latag ka tumutok na. No?
Delay.
Oh. So next, another group of even numbers kadtong dili na ending with 0. So kay ang 0 wala man mabutang sa last digit. So ang atong paagi karon, ang ending number could be 2, 4, 6. So there are 3 possibilities. 3 possibilities sa units digit. Ang hundreds digit, dili mo qualify ang 0. So for example, ang 4 mo imong na-choose as the units digit. So napakay 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 possibilities na ma-filled up ang hundreds digit. Ang tens digit, 5 gihapon. So 5 times 5 times 4. Pila man na? 5 times 4, 20. 100. 100? So in total, 100, 180. Pare, mutali siya, di ba? Tanaw na to. Tara. So mo na mga digits. Kuha kag hundreds, tens, units. Now, pwede man mo qualify ang 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Now, once you assign a number here, assuming 1 ang na-assign dire. So mo na gitawag nato hundreds digit. starting with 1. So napapoy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 na pwede mo occupy sa tens digit. And then the remaining 5 as the units digit. So in total, na kay 180. Narika sa even. Ang even mao ni. Ending with 0. So it's TU. 6 times 5, 30. Sa so, pa 120 itong usa ka group, no? Ang not ending with 0, 553. 553. Okay, ang units digit kiniraman. It's either 2, 4 o 6, no? As units digit. Ano siya? 2, 4, 6. Unahon ni nato 3. Kanya ang remaining, ang 0 di mo qualify dire. So muna kung 2 ang napilian sa unit digit, napatay 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 na pwede mabutang sa hundreds digit. So 5 times 5 times 3. Dili 5 times 5 times 4. But 5 times 5 times 3. Okay. So, mo ang even numbers. 1, 0, 5. 1, 0, 5. There are 6 times 5 times 1. Sayop man eh. Sayop, no? Sayop kay pila man eh. 15 times 5, 75. Plus 30. So, murang nasayop ang calculator ini. Sakto ba? 105? Sakto ra day. Ako'y nasayop. Sakto ang calculator. So, 6 times 5 times 1 plus 5 times 5 times 3. A total of 105 even numbers. Now, di kaganahan ana. Pwede ni mo sulbon ang pila man ka odd numbers. Pwede. Ang odd numbers masayon man. Unsa may pagkaibaw nga ang number is odd? Tanawa ang last digit. Nya, unsa may mo qualify? Ang 0 din na mo qualify dire. It's either 1, 3, or 7. Mo nang 3 na. No, sa kanang 3 could be a 1, could be a 3, or could be a 7. So there are 3 possibilities na ma-filled up ang units digit. Kunya ang 0 kay remaining pa man, di man na pwede ma-assign na to dire. So kung assuming 7 mo'y nabutang diha, we still have 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 remaining to become as the hundreds digit. Kana tens digit also 5. So, kung imo nang calculaton, there are 75 odd numbers. Imo nang isubtract sa 180. Ang result ana, obviously even kay duha ra man ka klase. Either odd or even. Sakto? Pwede sab anaon nimo. Okay, so there are different ways of solving the problem. Okay, next is saan naman na? Light naman na. Diretso man. A firm employs 10 programmers, 8 systems analysts, 5 engineers, and 4 statisticians. A team is to be chosen to handle a long-term project. The team will consist of 3 programmers, 2 systems analysts, 3 engineers, and 1 statistician. In how many ways can the team be chosen? If the customer insists that one particular engineer with whom he has worked before be assigned to the project, in how many ways can the team be chosen? So yun rin, combination rin, no? Apply principle of counting. You just choose, pila ka programmer kinahanglan na to? 3. So 10 combine 3. Pila ka systems analyst? 2. 8 combine 2. Engineers, 5 combine 3. Statisticians, 4 combine 1. Then multiply. Multiply the different results. Sa letter B, na magpili siya naa siya'y crush yun nga engineer, di good pwede mo ng pulihan, or else di mo kakuha sa project. Okay, kinsa ka na siya nga engineer, sila rin nakaibaw, secret rin na nila, pwede magmaritista. Okay, so customer insists that one particular engineer with whom he has worked before be assigned to the project. In how many ways can the team be chosen? So, unsay buhaton? Pareha ra gyapon, no? 10 combined 3. Unya 8 combined 2. Pero sa engineers, moingon na lang ka 5 combined 2. Kaya na naman kayo usa na pilian. Okay, so 4 na lang. Kuhaon na nimong usa, 4 combined 2 na lang ka. Di ba? 4 combined 2. So, plus katong napilian niya, 3 na sila, engineer. Yeah, times 4. Okay, so that's the solution. 10 combined 3, 8 combined 2, 5 combined 3, 4 combined 1. Yeah, human, multiply the results. So, there are 134,400 different ways. Daghan di ay kayo. No, di ka kayo. Pero sa tinud-an ay di na mahitabo kay lain-lain manggod og capability bisan pag napuo na sila, no. I-assume natong ang 10 equal ra gyud ang iyang capability. Okay. Unya ang katong nanay engineer, so 4 na lang kay 5 sila but you get out 1 already. Yeah, pili na lang kag duha out of 4. So 4 combined 2. And it will now become 80,640 different ways. If a multiple choice test consists of 10 questions, each with 4 possible answers, of which only one is correct, in how many different ways can a student check off one answer to each question? In how many ways can a student check off one answer to each question and get all the answers wrong? Dutagin ano, wrong mangyutan na. Di ganahan mo pasar. In how many ways can a student check off one answer to each question and get exactly 7 correct answers? So, saan pag-answer na? Letter A, B. Saan man? In how many ways, in how many different ways can a student check off one answer to each question? Mayroon ka 4 to the power 10. 4 times 4 times 4. Diba? Kaya upat man ka choices sa usa ka item. So, mupili kang A, pwede ka mupili B, pwede ka mupili og C, pwede ka mupili og D. So, there are 4 possibilities na maka-choose ka og answer sa number 1. Nya, ang number 2, upat ra gihapon, no? Di man ka maingon nga tulo na lang kay nipili naman kog A sa number 1. Di na ko pwede mo pili A sa number 2. Dili. Pwede gihapon nimo i-repeat ang letter A. So 4 times 4 times 4. Multiply it 10 times or 4 to the power 10. In how many ways can a student check off one answer to each question and get all the answers wrong? So ang wrong ay pilion nimo. Pila man ka wrong? Tulo. So 3 times 3 times 3. Do it 10 times. 3 to the power 10. In how many ways can a student check off one answer to each question and get exactly 7 correct answers? Sa ibuhaton, pagpili sa og 7 out of 10. And how do we do that? 10 combined 7. 10 combined 7. Unsa man ay buti pasabot nato? 10 combined 7. That is the number of ways by which you could choose 10 out or 7 out of 10. Pwede mo kami ngog. Ang akong correct ini number 1 up to 7. O ang 8, 9, 10 wrong na. Wrong na. So, kung ang 1 to 7 correct, unsa man na nimo pag-multiply? 1 times 1 times 1, you do it 7 times. And therefore, kadtong 10 combined 7 multiply it by 1. Sakto. Unya ang 3, ang remaining 3, multiply it by pila? 3. Kay tulo man ang wrong. Wrong man ang 3. 7 ramay correct. No? In how many ways can a student check off one answer to each question and get exactly 7 correct answers? Okay? So, saan man? Saan? Okay, so una, 4 to the power 10. So, unsa man ang 4 to the power 10? Ang example na, pila ka ways, 1,048,576. Mabitaw nang sa board exam, kung pantira na sila multiple choice, nga naman there are a lot of possibilities. Unya, unsa may probability na makapasar ka by just guessing. We will calculate that later on. Para later on, ma-encourage ka nga.
Buti,
Oy, may paymutaya na lang kog luto kay dako mag probability nga makadaog ko kaysa mo pasar nga magtag-an lang. Oh. Okay? So manang total count 4 to the power 10. Sa example ini, now kung dili ka mutuo sa formula, pwede ra gyud ka mag-direct count. So unsa ang pag-direct count? Number 1 nimo, A. Napo ka A. Usa na ka possibility, di ba? Gipili nimo A tanan up to 10. That's one possibility. Next possibility, A. Pili kag B. Ya, balik na sa kasa. A. Different naman na. Kaya naman kay 9 ka A ug usa ka B. Or A. Simang ka sa B. Balik ka sa A. That's another possibility. So kung di ka magtuho ini, pwede na nimo buhaton literon, di pa ka matulog ha. Kaya kung suwayan Ginoo kato ka sir ha. Lista. Magkita ta man ang hubag na imong mata. Nya wa pag yung kakahuman. Because you will get lost along the way. That's the beauty of knowing the formula. Next, total count for all wrong. 3 to the power 10. So, 59,049 ways. Ang total count for 7 correct answers, so 7, 10 combined 7. So, 120 different ways. Kana siya, no? Total count for 7 correct answers. Total count man, no? Dili man probability atong isgutan. So, total count. Ang usa ka possible ini nga nakakuha kag 120 ways, no? So letter A correct. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mo na imong correct. Pero posible sa imong correct is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wrong ka sa 7. O niya 8 correct ka. So that's another possibility. So indeed, you are just choosing 7 out of 10. Yeah, mo to himuon nimo correct. But because we're not dealing with probability, we're dealing only with the total outcomes, so 120 different ways. You choose 7 out of 10. Ganiha murag nag-multiply pa ta sa iyo to, no? It should be 10 combined 7 kay ang correct. Mupili ra kag 7 ka items, nya himuon to nimong correct. Kana na-mention na nato, no? So in how many ways can 6 people be lined up to get on a bus if 3 specific persons insist on following each other? How many ways are possible? So motong 6, imong hiktan ng tulo. Mahimo na lang silang 4. Nang nakay 4, no, factorial. Yeah, once ma-arrange na nimo ang upat with 3 tied up together, ug ang ilang hikot, pwede nimo i-rearrange na sa sila. So 4 factorial times 3 factorial, 144 different ways. Now, bali, 2 persons do not want to follow each other. Kontra gyud. Bay, di ko paduulan na niya bay. No? Una, 2 persons do not want to follow each other. So, we will use a method involving complement. So, ang complement is ang total possible ways minus nimo kung naay duha ka persons na mo insist in following each other. Muna gitawag og complement. Okay? So 6 factorial nya minus kini nga formula answer man na sa pila ka possible ways nga naay duha ka person nga mo follow each other. So get the complement of that. Munang 6 factorial minus 480 different ways. Next, narita sa probability of an event. Saan mo na yung pag-define ng probability? Saan natin dire, saan ang probability? Direta. Unahon yung first row there. Sa may volunteer probability. Kaya kay, lingo-lingo. Ha? Dira? Oo. Oo, ganito. Ha? Kaya na kayo uniform ka na? Oo. Uniform good. Sa may probability. Mr. Uniform. Kaya ba? Oh, damay usaw. Ilagan. Kaya maka-define of probability. Tagay ang microphone diha. Kuan? Jail? Kailan naman mong jail, Jerusalem, no? Oh, wala pa? Jail, introduce sa imong self, Ben. Nasa tumoy?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Engineer Jel Jerusalem, recently licensed civil engineer last November. So, can I answer what is probability?
Ano ang probability of an event? Sige mo gamit na siya. Bay, murag dakong chance mo uwan ron na. No. So mo na chance na mo occur ang usa ka event, no? That's what we call as probability by definition. Pero unsa man pag-determine value? Unsa pag-calculate sa probability? Ang classical definition, ang classical formula niya is you divide the favorable outcome by the total possible outcome. So balik ta sa example na to ganiha, nakoy tulo ka coins. Ka familiar mo duwa nga hantap? Ano mas garol? Garol gini sila. Ako dili. Kay bawo lang ko sa akong amigo, no? So, nakoy tulo ka coins dire ha. Tulo ka coins. Anya ako nang itos once.
Makita ra.
Kung mo-fall siya nga pareha, tail, 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 so, posible winner ko. So, unsa may probability na makakuha ko duha ka tails? Itos na ko ang tulo ka coins once. Unsay probability nga makuha ko duha ka tails? Oh, top 3. 2/3. Di mo i-count pila yung mga outcomes nga naay duha ka tails. Di ba ganihan ingon man ta, there are 8 possible outcomes. No, there are 8 possible outcomes. Of the 8 possible outcomes, usa ana tail, tail, tail. Ang remaining ana usa head, head, head. Unya naay 3 nga duha ka tails, usa ka head, naasay another 3 nga duha ka heads, usa ka tail. So the probability nga we will get or we can get 2 tails will be 3/8 because there are 3 favorable outcome divided by the total possible outcome. So that's the classical definition of probability. Formula, kung mag-isgot ang formula. So probability of an event is a value between 0 and 1. So naka-remember ko sa akong professor dito sa Delft, ngayon siya nga an Egyptian, si Professor Shahin, no? Mando Shahin. Ingon siya, I like the subject of probability because we will be dealing only with numbers between 0 and 1. Muna iyang introduction, no? And by the time we were discussing, because it was the time nga ni Buto, nakadungog na mo itong pinatubo. Huwag pa mo matao, no? Nagbitay pa mo, no? Katong ni Buto, pinatubo. Yeah, during the time, na-discuss siya Poisson distribution, kay mo man na yung distribution nga mo describe sa mga occurrences sa events. Ingon na siya ako, where? Asa man tong atong taga-Philippines? Kay Philippines man itong pinatubo, di ba? Kay pansiron sa ko niya sa Poisson distribution. Okay, so every time mag-mention tag probability, it's figurable outcomes divided by the total possible outcomes. Next is mga calculations. Sa ibuhaton kung nakikitawag na to union, additive rules, union of two events. I believe familiar tayo ning symbol. Okay, Venn diagram. So, when we talk of probability of A, it is actually the space occupied by A sa universal set. So kung ang universal na to dire katong nagtos ka og tulo ka coins, kung interesado ka sa outcome nga two tails, kini nagrepresent ni og 3. Kini nagrepresent na og 8, no? Okay. So, kung na ay common between two events, then the probability of A union B, unsa may buti pasabutan na? Ang probability ining total. So, unsa ang pag-calculate sa probability? It is the total area of A and B divided by this total area. Sakto? Kaya mo man ang gitawag na to og favorable, kini mo ng favorable outcome. And this one is the total possible outcome. Okay, now, kung yung kag A plus B, you are double counting this space. Kuha? Na double count. That's why you have to subtract it. You subtract the intersection part. Question. Na ako'y deck of playing cards. Makuha ko duha ka cards. Unsay probability nga ang card nako is ace and a red card. Ace and red card. So, may kong ace, pila may probability? 4 out of 52. Ang red card, 13, 26 out of 52. Pero na'y common. Namang ko'y duha ka red cards nga ace. That's the ace of diamond and ace of hearts. No? So, na ay common nga 2 out of 52. Duha, di ba? So, imo nang isubtract because that's common na double count. That's for union of two events. But if the events are independent, we call it also mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. Wa kay labot nako. Wa sa kay labot nako, no? Buwag na ta. Ana nga style ba? Ana ta hilabtanay. So, mutually exclusive. Wa man sila intersection, therefore the probability A union B equals probability A plus probability B. Okay? Nay basketball game. Familiar mo tag basketball game, no? Oh. Unya. Na foul ang usa ka player na injury. Kini nga, isa ng basketball player rin, may ito pansiron. Era. So, team asa, timbot ko, o niya, USC. Pag drive sa USC, i-foul. Akap shooting. Time na yun. Kung yung score nila is, ang sa Pikas, 100 na, ang sa Pikas, 99 pa. Pero di-drive man siya. Oh. Okay, unya ang gifoul niya, ang iyang probability nga ma-shoot niya is 70%. Dili magina 100%, di ba? Pero ang probability nga maka-convert siya is 70%. Problema karon, unsa may chance nga modaog sila? What is the probability na modaog sila sa match? Meaning, probability nga masuod niya ang duha, di ba? Oh. Ato nang anseran later on. So, kana natay mga gitawag og two events nga naay intersection og naay duha ka events nga mutually exclusive. Conditional probability. So, conditional probability, and it is symbolized by this, PBA. Meaning, probability B given A. Probability B given A. And it is defined as the probability A intersection B, kini nga space, i-divide nimo sa probability A. So that's the probability of B within A, given A. Probability of B given A. So kini ra nga space. Ang common sa duha divided by the probability of A. And that will work if probability A is not zero. Two events are independent events if and only if the probability B given A is same as the probability of B, or probability A given B is same as the probability of A, and the two events are independent. Multiplicative rule, if A and B can both occur, then probability A intersection B is the same as probability A times probability B given A. And if the two events are independent, then intersection A U B, probability of the intersection A B is the same as the probability A times probability B. Okay, itong mag-consider tag mga examples. Kailan man tag marbles, no? Nakaduwa ba mong marble? Jolin. Jolin, og taga Bohol ka. Og taga Cebu ka. Jolin. Jolin, nagyawon. Kisa may taga Bohol din eh. Ha? Kisa ba? Asa ka dapat Bohol? Tagbilaran. Ikaw asa ka dapat Bohol? Narin. Nakoy trivia. Unsa ko na area sa Bohol nga way bulanon? Kaanda. Tagbilaran. Sa ko na lugar sa Bohol nga way bulanon? Kajik. Taga Bohol, Kajik? Ako rin na ilang taga Bohol, no? Mga guwapa. Okay. So akong taga-Agent at taga Bohol. Okay, sa lugar nila kaway taga Bohol. Kandihay, is an example. Kandi jay man ako taga Bohol ka, di ba? attorney. Maribugog. Maribudjok. Ano, di ba? Ah. De, magpatulos taga Bohol unsaon pag-spelling og joy. Diba kung sa pag-spelling nila anak? Ayan. Mako nga taga. Mako nga taga. Taga ano yun?
May naka-load.
Oo.
Wala. Kami ko na paloadan.
O niya, wa dyan mo? Oo. O niya, why da John? Ano yung tala niya? Okay, back to business na. Answerin ang letter A. A box contains 20 marbles, of which 5 are red, 15 are blue. If 2 marbles are selected at random and removed from the box in succession without replacing the first, what is the probability that both marbles are red? So, kung ta, principle of counting ragyapon na may 5 marbles, niya, 5 red, niya, 20. So, 5 over 20, mo na probability nga makakuha kag red sa first draw. Sakto ba? And then, there are 4 remaining, 90 na lang ang left, kaya wala man to i-replace. So, you just multiply. 5 over 20, multiply it by 4 over 19. Total for the answer is 1 over 19. A box contains 20 marbles, of which 5 are red, 10 are blue. If 2 marbles are selected at random and removed from the box simultaneously, what is the probability that both marbles are red? So, ang favorable outcome na 5 combine 2. Kaya na may 5 red marbles, you choose 2. 5 combine 2. Then you divide it by the total possible outcome, 20 combine 2. Total of 10 over 190, parihara 1 over 9. Or 1 over 19. Okay? That one, the probability that a regularly scheduled flights departs on time is 0.84. The probability that it arrives on time is 0.81. And the probability that it departs and arrives on time is 0.79. Find the probability that a plane, letter number 1, arrives on time given that it departed on time. 2, departed on time given that it has arrived on time. So that is an example of conditional probability. So ang number 1 na probability nga ni arrive given nga it departed on time. Nibiya siya, yan ni arrive on time. So, conditional probability, it is the intersection D intersection A, which is given 0.79, you divide it by the probability that it departed on time. So, 0.79 divided by 0.84 equals 0.9405. Probability D given A, so 0.79, you divide it by 0.81. Natay questions or clarifications? Okay, I guess this is not difficult anymore. Nabalik ra na, no? Pero ang letter B, tanawang letter B. Okay, so we do it this way. So akong emphasize ang connective nga OR. No? So kung connective nga OR gali, mo na ning principle of counting number 2. Now you have to add. Add na to. Now, this is, we get one marble without replacing it. So, the chance that it is red is 5/20. Okay? Next is, ikuha kag blue. Or, posible man nga nakuha ni mo na blue, followed by red. No? So, this is red, followed by blue, or blue, followed by red. Kaya interesado raman ka sa marble nga blue and red. Gets? So this is the probability na makakuha kag red sa first, followed by a blue. Or makakuha ka sa first draw blue, followed by red. So 15/38. Pwede sabi nga nene, pag-calculate. Favorable divided by total possible outcome. So ang sa'yo nakadiferensya sa duha ka approaches. Kini siya is by classical definition. Favorable divided by the total possible outcome. While kini, principle of counting. No? I-apply na to during principle of counting. What is the probability you can get a red and a blue, and the probability also that you can get a blue and a red. So, connective OR. Red, blue, or blue, red. Okay, di na ako i-discuss, no? Ibaw na ta na. Basic sa examination, dili na diamond. Kuha na. Club. Or heart. Diba? Probability of drawing an ace or red card from a deck of playing cards. Why challenge ba yun? So nganong i-subtract na to? Because there's a common. Itong ace and red. So 252, 452, 2652 minus 2/52. Total of 7/13. Yan, tanawa ha, sa later on ba ya, sa itong mga examination na choices nga 4/52 ra plus 26/52. Kung di ka kasubtract ana, lahi imong answer. Diara kata akong i-mention ganiha. In a college playoff game, a player was fouled at the act of shooting at the final buzzer with his team down by 1 point. If the player's free throw average is 0.75, find the probability that his team wins. Letter B, the game extends to overtime. Sa may putipasan ng letter B, usara ang iyang nasulod, no? While kini nasulod niya ang duha. So how do we calculate that? Probability nga mo shoot ang first manang SPSPS. First na converted, second converted gihapon. And because the probability is 0.75, so you multiply 0.75 by 0.75. Mo ni ilang probability nga mo win sila. Pero mo overtime kung ang first is na converted, nya ang second na miss. Nya unsa may probability nga na miss? 0.25 because the totality is always 1. Di ba? Probability and total probability is always 1. So kana mo ni ang free throw average, kini mo ni dili ma-converted. So, kini nagpasabot na nga sa first na converted, second wala. Or ang first na miss pero ikaduha na shoot. Then the chance nga ma-overtime is 0.375. So mas dakog chance nga modaog sila kay dako man ang iyang free throw average. Pero kung si kuan pa ni kailay mo radman, no? Wa mo kailan ano? Amo man ang panahon ko. Walang Michael Jordan. Kadua-dua nga to. Okay. This one, a box contains 20 pens, of which 4 are defective. A boy gets 5 of these pens from the box. What is the probability that exactly 2 defective pens have been taken? What is the probability that at least, what's the difference between the two? Exactly and at least. Kung yung what is the probability that at least 2 defective pens have been taken? Naabay, i-count ba nato nga nakakuha siya usa ka pen? At least man, at least 2. Meaning, pinaka less number or the least number of defective is 2. Pero pwede sa 3, pwede sa 4, pwede sa 5, di ba? A boy gets 5 of these pens from the box. So pwede ang nakuha niya, 2 ka defective, 3 ka defective, 4 ka defective, or 5 nga defective items. And this is how to calculate the value. Number 1, exactly 2. Exactly 2. If you have the calculator with you, you can try this. Now 4 combine 2, yeah, 16 combine 3, divided by 20 combine 5. Mao man ni ang total number of ways na you can get 5 out of 20. No? 5 out of 20. And this is the number of possibilities na you can get 2 out of 4. Nganong 4 man? Because there are 4 defective items. So 4 defective items, you just get 2 because we are answering exactly 2 defective items. The remaining items, sa nakuha kay 5 man imong gikuha, so nakay 2 dire, nakay 3 here. So 5 in total. Mao ni ang favorable outcome. So 4 defective, 3 good items. So 4 combined 2, 16 combined 3. Divided by 20 combined 5. Total of 0.2167. But in this particular case, at least 2. So you use now the summation symbol. 4 combined x, where x varies from 2 to 4. So at one time, x is 2. At the next calculation, x is 3. And in the last calculation, x is 4. Then 16 combined, 5 minus x. If this is 2, this is 3. If this is 3, this one is 2. If this is 4, this is 1. You have that in your calculator, the summation symbol. I hope nga na familiarize na nato. No? So the answer is 0.2487. Okay, this time. Answer daw ni. Tagaan mo multiple choice nga quiz. 10 items all in all. 10 items ha. Unya sa usa ka item there are 4 choices. A, B, C, D. Usa na correct. The 3 wrong. Kung pangutanon mo sa may chance nga makapasar ka or unsay chance nga makakuha ka og exactly 6 correct answers. What is the probability that you will get exactly 6 correct answers? Taon man na. Moingon ka, pagpili og 6 out of 10. And how do we do that? 10 combine 6. Make them correct. So unsa may chance nga correct? 0.25. Kay usa ra man out of 4. Unya plus you choose 4 out of 10. Himo atong wrong. So 4 combined or 10 combined 4, make it wrong, so multiply it by the probability of obtaining wrong answers, and that's 0.75. Tanawa kung sa'y probability. Nga mo pasar ka, bisag 10 items na, what is the chance nga mo pasar ka kung imo lang i-guess? Nya 6 ang passing. So more or less that's probability, no? Okay, we'll now proceed to probability distributions, but I guess I will discuss this next meeting, no? Yeah, siguro na ay chance nga okay ra mo dire na binyo, okay ra. Smile ni kay compare sa Rignihol, no? Tanahagpong ko sa concrete sir kay di maayong Rignihol. Rignihol. Yan nata sa sapad ha, hagpong na sa kuanda. Review kay sindot kay sapad.